What is up, guys? It's Carl from Monkee Mod. So I'm back here today again with another new blaster. This time it is the LDT blaster, not the Mark 17 unfortunately. As you can already tell from the titles, it is a 416 and the latest 3.0 revisions. Maybe it's not really a revision, it's actually a straight upgrade because it's pretty great. So let me just walk you through it. So this is the box that comes with the blaster, a plain card box with no printings anywhere. So very discreet, I suppose. Very sturdy though, it's pretty thick. So once you open it, you'll be greeted with the good old familiar bag from LDT. So this is a nylon material blaster bag. Okay, it has the HK logo here printed, and it has a pretty sweet compartment here that you can install your magazine and stuff. So let me just get it out. Right, so the bag is exactly the same as the one that you saw in the 2.5. If you have bought one before, the bag is exactly the same. I think they didn't do any updates or sort, but still, I give props to LDT for including, this nice bag as one of their package. Into their package of this blaster. Not actually, none of the other manufacturer does that. It's only LDT that does it. So 100 points for that. So the bag, wow, there's some accessories here. Let me get it out. The sling for the bag that you can put onto the points here, and a crappy 7.4 volt LiPo battery with the mini Tamiya connectors, a USB charger for the battery, a pair of AAA size battery for the dummy EO tag, as is the 2.5. Right, so once you open it, you see a couple of items here. Safety glass and the stuff. Soap gels. Same thing in the 2.5. They also included a pack of pre-soaked shell. Well, and then a pack of their famous heavier Monkee, a dummy EO tags, their standard nylon PMax, the blaster itself, and then a small cards here that has a what is this called, QR code that tells you how to mess with how to adjust the hopup. Right, so yes, you mentioned hopup. What does it mean? It just means that there is actually a hopup unit pre-installed into the blaster itself before it's shipped. So yes, that's pretty sweet and something that I find really interesting. Alright, let's just set this aside. Right, alright, so this is the contents, the main contents that you need. Not really this one, but alright. So let's just go over the blaster first. Now, first impression, it's amazing. Honestly speaking, for the price, I think it's really hard to beat it. There are some features that are missing, not really missing, but I would say not really up to the date. Like for example, the preload still not present in the 416 in the LDT blasters, mainly because of the the gearbox itself. It has the EBB features, so I suppose they don't really have space to install or to design another preload system for it. But I'm sure if they want to, they could. But so that's one negative. But let's just go through the external of the blaster. So it is mostly nylon. The handguard is nylon, the receiver is nylon, the buttstock is nylon. So what is metal? Some screws. The pin, the receiver pin is actually steel and is actually a really good pin. The one that they include, they sell separately, the one that comes with the small piston that you install in there. So when you punch this pin out, this pin can remain in these positions and will just stay there. And this pin as well is a steel pin. The fire select, on the right side is actually a steel plate as well. Unlike the 2.5, it is a nylon. What else? The charging handle. You'll be also getting a really sweet charging handle. This is a ambidextrous charging handle. You can put on both sides. And yes, it's metal. Unlike the 2.5, which is a nylon. So this time they give a metal charging handle. Pretty sweet actually. Works pretty well. The book release is nylon. The fire select is nylon. The grip is nylon. The magazine catch is nylon. What else? Right, so the buffer tube is metal. Standard stuff. The sling mount is also metal. The gas block, the muzzle is all nylon. So that's it for the metal parts, I suppose. There's a few parts, but yes, that's an improvement from the 2.5. Not a leap, but it's there. On this side, yes. Actually, if you have noticed, the details on the receiver has really been improved. Instead of printing, now I was told that they are laser engraved. So the markings is really crisp compared to the 2.5. You can tell they are obviously printed on, and these are laser engraved on. So when you run your finger over, you can feel the texture. So that's pretty nice. On the magwell, and on this side, the printing, the engraving is really nice. And on the fire select indicator, instead of prints, now they are engraved. Like it's engraved, molded in. It's not really like printed on. And then they fill it with colors. So that's really good details there. And that's pretty much the external of it. It actually looks the same as the 2.5, just that the receiver has been improved. Now, if we go closer, you can tell how well the upper and the lower are mated together. The lines still visible. Still visible, but now they are very close together. They mate together really well. So on this side as well, camera, yep. And on this side, see, I think that's one really big improvement over the 2.5. The 2.5, the major problem I have with it was the upper. The upper is not a one-piece design. It is a two-piece design, meaning the left and the right, and the thread where you install the handguards, the barrel nut, is actually three-piece. Now, they updated it so that now the upper receiver is now one solid piece. So it's really, really good. Now, if you have seen my 2.5 video review, I have done this test. Now, see, this is very rigid now. Way more rigid than the 2.5. I can hardly flex it. So that is a really big plus for the 3.0. Now, let me just show you in comparison with the 2.5. Right, so this is the 2.5. Now, from the camera at a distance, you probably can't really tell the difference because they look really identical. But right away, you can tell the printing is a bit different. On the 416 2.5, you can tell that the printing here is way, the white is brighter than the one on the 3.0. That's because this is printed on and this is laser engraved. So that's the difference. And on closer look, you can tell the gap. This upper and the lower, you see, it's not really mated together perfectly. It's not aligned. And then on this side, it has a bigger gap here, and you can actually flex it. And on this side is less obvious, so it's fine, I guess. And the biggest problem I have with the 2.5 is really because the top receiver is not one piece, so if I flex it, it's very obvious. You can tell that the handguard is totally wiggling. Right? So understand that, yep. And then now the top rail, instead of a two-piece, this is actually removable. The 3.0 is one piece with, it's a one piece, it's a solid one piece, so there's no problem wiggling the top rail or anything like the 2.5. So let me just set this aside. Right, so that's it for the blaster itself. Oh yeah, actually I forgot to show you one very important thing. The thickness of the shell. So if we look from here, right, the 3.0 and the 2.5. This is 2.5, this is 3.0. So you can tell the mag well area or overall. The 3.0 is way more thicker than the 2.5. So if we just do a flex test, this is 2.5. So you can tell the mag well is actually flexing. Now on the 3.5, it's really sturdy. Even if I try flexing it really hard, you know, it doesn't bulge. Maybe just a bit, but yeah, it's really sturdy. I mean, this is something that you have to experience yourself in real life, and you know, you compare them both, and then you can really tell the difference. I can only do so much to show you the difference there, but yes, the 3.0 is really good. Right, so back to the 3.0. Now the external, pretty much done with it. I haven't shown you this, right? The dummy bolt, I noticed one problem with it. It's not a big problem, more like a cosmetics. So at its most forward positions, there's a small gap there. See that? I'm not sure why, but it wasn't presented in the 2.5. But on the 3.0, there's these small gaps here. I'm pretty sure it's fixable with a Dremel to drill a hole here or there. But yeah, that's one thing, it bothers you. Right? It's just cosmetic though, so yep. So this is how it looks like. And if you can tell, the fake gas block or dummy gas block here, it has a hole here, up here, and down here. So it kind of means that there's hopup within. I'm pretty sure the camera can't catch it, but so now before we go into the blaster test, I'm going to show you how the blaster looks like with the handguard taken out, and then I'll show you how the hopup is installed within. It's pretty smart, so pretty interesting. Right, so let me just start by taking off the muzzle. Right, with the muzzle off, I suppose, yep, I still can't tell if there's a hopup within, so I have to take this off. Now the handguard is the same as the 2.5, it's just an Allen key screw, and then you're pretty much done with it. Right, so with the handguard off, this is how it looks like. They even include the dummy gas rod here, which which is something that I really appreciate, because in the LDT 2.5 they did not actually include this. So yep, props to them. And this is dummy gas block. So to take off the dummy gas block, where it will reveal where the hopup is, we have to loosen two screws, one and one on the other side. So just these two screws. Oh yeah, I couldn't pull it out was because the adjustment screw here is blocked by the adjustment screw there. So let me just get rid of that. And there you go. Right, so this is an aluminum outer barrel. So this is a hopup. It is their LDT in-house design hopup, the flat hop with the lower plate and upper friction plate. So yes, this is how the thing is like. So basically, they cut the inner barrel, or they measure it just nice that it goes on where the hopup stops, and then the gas block goes in just nicely as well, so that it won't be obstructed by the gas block here. I've tested it and surprised me, it works really well. I don't really have a lot of broken gels due to this part. So I would say yes, it is a blaster that you bought and you can use it right away. So yes, that's pretty good. So I'm just going to put this back together. Putting this part together is a breeze. It's really easy, very simple. So if you have to do any sort of a maintenance, you want to change hopup, etc., there's no problem doing so. Alright, so I think I pretty much introduced all the stuff that you need to know. So now we are going to do a test fire and see what is the Kony readings on the FPS. So I'm going to fill in some gels. So I'll be using the LDT heavier milky gel as well. For this test, I will not be using the stock battery that came with it. But instead, I'll be using a Boss LiPo 7.4 battery with the mini Tamiya connectors. So with the battery in, let's give it a few dry fire and see how it sounds like. Oh yeah, the gearbox, of course, is the latest LDT416 gearbox. But bear in mind, it's not the metal gear version. It has a nylon gear within. So I wouldn't recommend using a 11.1 volt battery out of box unless you've done some modifications to, to modify the gearbox with metal gear and stuff. So I recommend sticking with a 7.4 battery if you're using it stock, which honestly speaking, I find quite adequate. So let's try semi. Oh yeah, safety. Right, in case that you haven't watched my other videos on the 2.5, they have improved the mechanism of the gearbox to improve the safety features. Because on the 2.5, right, this is a 2.5. On safety, even though it's on safety, if you pull the trigger hard enough, you can actually pull through and make that nasty click sound, right? But on the 3.0, they made a lot of improvement to the gearbox, so now that the trigger is really, it's just impossible to pull. I suppose you can actually break the nylon trigger before you can actually force it to pull through. So another big point for me. Right, so that's done. Now let's try semi. Right, that's semi. That's how it sounds like. Trigger is pretty crisp, even on 7.4 volt battery. It's no problem there, no lockup and stuff. On full auto. Okay, that's again, it's not terribly slow, but it's not super fast as well. But I would say just adequate. Right. So with that done, let's pull in the magazine that's loaded with the gel. Let's try semi. Right, no problem there. So let's get the Kony. Right, let's see what number we can get today. 262, 264, 249, 265, 263, 267, 268, 264, 257. That is a pretty decent FPS reading out of a completely stock blaster to average out at about 260 FPS. That's a really good number, I would have to say. And if I'm not mistaken, it's probably running a 1.2 spring. Hardly any manufacturer will run any spring higher than that because it's going to wreck the nylon gears. So I'm going to assume it's a 1.2 spring inside, but you can find it out later on. So let's try full auto. Alright, so 262, 255, 257, 256, 261, 259 at a rate RPS of 12.6. Right. So yes, stable at about 260, 255, 250, 260 on full auto and RPS of 12.6 on a 7.4 volt battery. That is a really good reading, I have to say. Now that is all for the the FPS checking. So that's pretty decent. It does about 250, 260 out of box, and on top of that, it actually has a hopup in stock as well. of box. So if you're looking for a blaster that you can buy and then just go to the field and start playing and be an effective player, yes, you can actually pretty much just do that with this. Now, the only thing that I find lacking is the preload, the preload function that loads the gel before you pull the trigger to prevent dry firings. That is pretty much presented in most of the newer blaster nowadays, like the SEMA, like the SLR, what else? I mean, plenty of blaster, the Vectors, the AUG, etc. But that's just a small setback, I suppose. You can always pre-fill the gel before you put the magazines in to reduce the dry firings. My verdict on the LDT416 3.0 complete build blaster, I give it an 8/10 actually. It's really good, especially on the receiver. They made a lot of improvement on that. The rest of the fittings is pretty alright, nylon buttstock, handguard and stuff. But because of the improved receiver, now the overall rigidity of the entire blaster has been improved. So there's no real complaint anywhere actually. I'm pretty happy with this blaster. So if you're out looking for a 416, I definitely recommend this. Now if you have a 416 2.5, don't worry, you can actually move all your stuff from your 2.5 into the 3.0 shell very easily. It's just a drop-in upgrade, very easy. Monkee Mod will be selling the shell, the LDT416 3.0 shell only. So if you're looking to upgrade your 2.5 into a 3.0 shell, it will be quite affordable, probably less than 250 ringgit to get the shell. So yeah, that's pretty much for this review. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any question regarding this blaster, you can just ask your questions in the comment sections. I'll get to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys again.